Ladies and gentlemen, now with the release of the one Escanor banner tomorrow, everybody's frantically rushing about today to try and figure out one thing. How do I gain more gems? So today I've put together a comprehensive guide of 25 different ways in 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross, and I think this is everything. I might be missing like a trick or two, but if there's anything I'm missing, please do let me know in the comments section. But this is kind of like the meat and potatoes of how you gain gems in 7 Deadly Sins, and like all of the different ways and like nooks and crannies in which you might be able to find some additional gems to summon on Escanor. So we've broken down into 3 sections here. We got daily, weekly, and additional, and then I've also got a breakdown of kind of the average month in 7 Deadly Sins to show you, especially with some of the newer features as well, like Tower, how it kind of amounts to just over 700 gems if you're an active, dedicated player. Again, there might be a little bit of variance in certain stuff like PvP, for example, depending on your level of commitment and also luck in certain banners as well. But yeah, we're going to be like covering all of that stuff as well. So again, a lot of this is aimed at kind of newer and progressing players. If you are a sweaty, try-hard veteran, you might know like a really good chunk of this, but again, I just want to make sure we're covering this in sufficient detail and covering all of the bases here. So first up, again, obvious stuff here, but we got the daily tasks. So you got stuff like your knighthood check-ins, that's 1 gem every single day, PvP participation, clearing a free stage, and also the rotating 2 gem daily task as well, which is either deathmatch, upgrade gear, or do PvP 3 times there. So again, this stuff like very minimal and also very simple, but 5 gems every single day really does add up on a monthly basis. It's like if you got 28 days in a month, 140 gems, 31 is 155 there. So yeah, daily stuff is kind of the core of gem farming. Then next up, on a weekly basis, you've got the normal PvP ranked rewards, and these make up for approximately about 1/3 of your overall gem gain, so it's really, really important that you push for the highest possible bracket that you can. Because the really good thing about normal PvP is you never get demoted a bracket as long as you are not inactive I think more than a couple of weeks there. So for example, my free-to-play is parked at like champion 5, so I'm getting like 52 gems on a weekly basis, and for the last couple of weeks I just haven't been playing, man. I'm at 3.5k. I'll just like join a match, instantly forfeit once a day in order to get the additional free PvP participation gem there, and yeah, just collect my 52 gems every single week. So yeah, just push as high as you can. And really, one good thing about normal PvP as well, going up to like 3k rating, there are so many bots in normal PvP. Like if you lose a match, I think it guarantees that the next match is going to be a bot kind of under 3000 rating. So yeah, it's really, really easy to climb, especially if you do someone on the right banners and have some very, very strong characters there. Because yeah, the bots in PvP are very often incredibly dumb, man. They make so many misplays there. But also on top of that, weekly, you've got maintenance. So every Tuesday, guaranteed 3 gems. This could be like 5 or 6, depending on if it gets extended or not as well. You also have the daily login reward calendar, the 7-day one. So on day 2 and day 5 you gain 3 gems, and also there's like SSR tickets on that as well, which is really, really nice. But that is like an additional 6 gems every single week. And then you also have battle events, which can now be found in Fort Solgras. So very often you have about 2 of these every single week. There are some weeks that have even more than that, but yeah, these events, like, they're pretty much auto farm events. They're very boring for the most part. This one's actually really, really good, man. You get 5 gems from this one, but I think this is a monthly one here. But yeah, these two tend to reset and change every single week, and if you complete all of the missions, again, I'm super lazy when it comes to farming these events on my whale account, but again, this can be like 4 additional gems every single week, and over the course of the month, along with everything else, again, this stuff really does add up. So yeah, total, it's about 73 gems weekly, and also a monthly total of 292 at the almost maximum there. Again, some of this stuff can be a little bit higher depending on what additional events do come up, but for most free-to-play players, might be a little bit lower due to the fact that normal PvP ranked rewards, again, it's sometimes becomes a little bit tricky to get to Champion 1 every single week, but Champion 5 or like Master 5 really isn't too bad to get to for anybody that is kind of summoning on the right banners and building up the right characters there. And then on top of that, we got the additional stuff. So Story, man, as a new player, Story is an absolute godsend. There are so many gems knocking about. On average, Story is about 35 to 45 gems per chapter, so kind of going a little bit deeper. You'll notice as a new player, what you need to do to get the 30 gems, you need to 100% explore the town. And again, I've been super lazy on my whale account, man. This is so easy to do, and I've still got like 30 gems for days here, man. But yeah, I've been so lazy just because I'm rinsing that credit card, boys. But yeah, going down again, once you get past chapter 6 and go on to like chapter 7 onward, you don't need to 100% explore all the towns and do all the side missions. It's just like powering through the story, and you'll see gems on additional stages and boss fights. And once you do all of the fights in there, and usually it's about, what is it, 20-30 episodes in every single chapter, maybe a little bit less in certain chapters as well, you get 30 gems. So once you get like proper into the story, man, the gems, they just really add up. And on average, we get a new story chapter every like 2 to 4 weeks as well. So yeah, it's really nice at the moment. But we're almost caught up to the Japanese story, where the one Escanor and Meliodas fight. But again, this is a huge source of gain for kind of newer and progressing players. And then the next one we have is mainly for newer players. Again, if you download this game, or you remember for when you first started playing this game, the first time you clear like any stage in the world, you get 1 gem per stage. And this is absolutely ridiculous for new players because there are so many stages to clear and so many of those like Hawk mini games to play as well. But also one slightly newer thing is the Tower of Trials. And again, this does take a while to get into. You need the right characters and some good equipment in order to succeed in Tower. But Tower is crazy, man. So on average, it should come around once a month. We did have a little bit of a break on global for some reason, but on the Japanese version, at least to the best of my memory, towers have always been back-to-back, and there's a total of 55 gems in every single tower. So there's 30 on floor 23, also on floor 16 there's 15 gems, and on floor 9 as well, there are 10 gems. So there's a total of 55 in tower, man. So as long as you can get like a good tower team sorted, and a lot of the towers that are coming up are much easier than the first 2 seasons as well. That's almost an additional 55 gems every single month. Then next up, we got Final Boss. And again, recently, we haven't had too many Final Bosses on Global since Christmas. We did a double Final Boss then, and that was so incredibly good. But via Final Boss, as long as you can get in the top 50%, and it's really easy, at least in my opinion, to land a top 50% score, all you need to do is like look up some YouTube guides and tutorials, and usually there are like so many different combinations that you can use to get top 50%. So yeah, top 50% really isn't too much of a challenge, and if you can land that, that's going to be 35 gems every single final boss there, plus also on the score reward as well, this new gauge that we had recently. This comes back on every single final boss, and as long as you score like 5k points, that's 3 additional gems there. So again, just like a nice little source of gems, and hopefully we are going to see more frequent final bosses on Global. And then next up, we got 5-starring SSR gear. So you gain 1 gem every time you 5-star a piece of SSR gear, and this has actually become so much better to do with the revamped version of Fort Solgras, because now over like a 24-hour period in the gold dungeon, you can farm over 100 million gold. My whale account and setup, man, is doing about 140 per 24 hours, and my free-to-play does just over 100 in comparison. So the thing you want to do with this is you want to wait for equipment draw rate up, which is an event that hopefully should be coming very soon, which then doubles the drop rate on 5-star awakening stones and also SSR gear as well. And if you rinse all of your gold through that, you get loads of 5-star awakening stones, and this allows you to +5 loads of gear, and that way you can gain like a really good stack. Like you can see about here, 250 million gold is about like 35 gems. So yeah, it really does add up, and like 250 million gold just under that is kind of like a weekend now of farming Fort Solgras. So again, this is something to get on top of and keep in mind, because again, Fort Solgras is now crazy for gems, anvils, and also hammers as well, and also potentially like perfect roll SSR equipment. equipment. But yeah, just something to keep in mind there. Again, gold farming is king of this game. It's really, really important if you want like that stacked, decked out roster. Now, next up, we got Brawl PvP. So that's that wonderful auto fight PvP withdrawal and the fight festival here. So yeah, you just have your teams, you go on auto, and every, 22 hours you can claim coins based on your rank there. But again, as long as you're like top 50%, it's still like a nice little stack of coins every 22 hours there. So what you want to do with these coins, again, if you go over to Gloxinia, you have this store which you need to clear out over like a 30 to 50 day period. Now, the more you buy in the store, the more the milestone gauge fills up, and once you brought 20 pieces, you get 3 gems, 40, you get 5 gems, and also 80, you get 7 gems. So over, on average, about a 30 to 50 day period of just making sure you claim those coins every single day, you can fully clean out like 80 items in this store. Again, if you're going a bit more for the expensive stuff, it could take a little bit longer than that, but it depends on your rank and how invested you are. It took my free-to-play, I think about 42 days to clean out this store, and I'm kind of like mid-rank for the most part. So yeah, it wasn't too bad, but again, it depends what you need, depends what you're going for. But Brawl has a lot of good benefits, and again, it's like some nice additional gems on top of everything else there. But again, depending on your rank and like how actively you are claiming these coins, this could be like shorter or longer in comparison. Now, next up, we got something fairly obvious, but also a little bit hidden away, which are reverse stages. So you got Season 1 and Season 2, and Season 2, if you don't know, is so much easier in comparison to Season 1. Season 2 is very, very easy to do, and again, there's like 15 gems and also a load of SSR tickets in both seasons as well. So you got a total of 30 gems across both of them. Again, I got some really easy, accessible, additional 7 diamonds there, or gems on my big old blubbery whale account, so I need to get around to that at some point. But yeah, I've just been a little bit lazy, as you've probably seen in a few areas today on the whale account, man. So yeah, reverse stages, again, if you haven't done them, they are a thing that do exist in the game. And then we've also got achievements. So achievements are always worth having a look at if you haven't like gone deep into them, because there's all sorts of stuff that could be really accessible for you. So mainly under challenges, this is where you have like the additional ones, like participate in the fight festival, but there's also like win the boss battle stages without dying, and these ones are really, really easy, man. But there's also stuff like solo the demons as well, and it starts with like normal, hard, extreme difficulty. I think there's a hell solo one as well. But as you can see, like, I've been really, really slack on these, man. I literally probably have about 100 gems in terms of achievements as well. And again, completing these achievements are going to give you even more points, which build up to like the 25 or 30 gem bigger rewards there as well. So yeah, it's definitely worth having a look through your achievements, because yeah, there's so much stuff I could do to be getting additional gems on my whale account. But again, I am just so goddamn lazy on this account, man. It's goddamn embarrassing. And then next up, we got Affinity. So getting any character to level 3 Affinity gives you a single gem. So again, this one, like, fairly obvious for the most part, but might be a way. Again, if you've got a few characters that you've gained recently, or SR or R characters, again, it's not too difficult to farm like certain food and get them to level 3 Affinity. Again, some of the SR ones are very, very cheap to get up there as well. So again, could be a source of potential additional gems there as well. But also, we do have the affection system. So the affection system is either like conversing with certain characters and giving them items, which is really boring, man, and takes ages to do, or winning fights for them. So if you're looking to gain like additional affection for like you know, Guild Thunder or Gila, for example, what you can do is just like leave them auto farming in a team overnight. Again, it might kind of like gimp your overall auto farming efficiency, but at the same time, this is going to help you passively farm affection and also give you those additional hearts to hit the gem milestones here. And there's a lot of milestones, man. So many gems available. There's about 240, I think. So yeah, there's so many gems across affection, and so much stuff that I've not even thought about doing on my whale account. But I think definitely when it comes to my free-to-play account, man, I definitely need to get a bit more on top of my affection. And one thing you can do as well is, again, leave certain characters in the sub slot, because as long as they are on the the team that wins the battles, they do gain affection points as well. So yeah, just something to keep in mind there, but essentially it's just auto farming for affection and making sure you have those characters whose level of affection you want to raise, like actively present on the team that you're farming with. Also, one thing I missed out as well is the Fort Solgrus spinner. So you got up to 3 spins a day after clearing Fort Solgrus if you do watch an ad there. So yeah, this could be no gems, it could be 2 gems, it could be 10 gems if you get really, really lucky on a weekly basis. But yeah, that one is very, very random for the most part, but again, worth doing if you got like 30 seconds to spare to watch the ad as well. Also, every single Hort Pass as well on the right hand side has 2 free gems, which is nice. I mean, not overly generous on the free-to-play Hort Pass, but it's a nice little bonus, man. To be honest, the more the Hort Passes age, the more the right-hand side is just so incredibly underwhelming. But also, we do have bonus events. Now, this is kind of like an additional big core of gem farming, but also very dependent as to what the developers decide to add. So yeah, this one varies so much on a weekly basis. You have stuff like the Camilla Disaster event, which was like 72 gems. We've also had like the Attack on Titan collaboration, and also the KOF collaboration gave a lot of gems. The Halloween event had so many gems as well. There are events like Athena and also the Goddess Warehouse that gives you a really good stack of gems. But yeah, it depends on like, you know, what the weekly event is. Again, this can be huge variance, anywhere between like 5 gems for less exciting weeks and 72 gems for very exciting disaster events there. Maybe collaborations as well. So yeah, bonus events, there's huge variance. There's also free gifts from developers. So for example, yesterday on Valentine's Day, we got 10 gems and also 5 Super Awakening coins. That was very nice as well. There's also bonus login calendars. So for example, currently active at the moment, we do have the Anniversary Homecoming Step Up banner, which gives 10 free gems on the 2nd week of it. So again, there's like a lot of additional random stuff that does pop up. There are sometimes like additional calendars for certain events and lead ups to collaborations, and sometimes they may or may not have gems involved. But yeah, that one's really, really nice. And again, just to show you the the rolling like 7-day calendar as well. This one again rolls every 7 days. You get 3 gems on day 2 and also 3 gems on day 5 as well as that weekly part 1 guaranteed SSR ticket. So it was a pretty nice time there. But yeah, aside from that, we have Knighthood Wars. Again, this one, man, is very whaley. This is like pretty much only top 32 guilds at the moment, but they have confirmed from the Japanese developers, the Knighthood Wars are currently being expanded to all players. There's going to be normal ungeared Knighthood Wars, and I imagine there's going to be something linked into gems to the reward for them. So yeah, that should be really, really good. But yeah, in Zenith, man, we're the #1 guild on global, so like every 2 and a bit weeks, we're getting like 60 gems per season, which is very, very nice, but again, very limited to top guilds at the moment, but I just thought it was worth mentioning for the future. And also, as a new player, there is one treasure chest in every single town that gives you 1 gem. So, you know, I remember that at the last minute, man. I was like, oh, you know, we might as well chuck it on the list as well. So looking at how this kind of adds up and breaks down on a monthly basis, so I've kind of got a rolling total here. So weekly gems, again, it all adds up to about 292 in the space of a month. Daily gems, average 30-day month is going to be 150. On average, we're going to see 1 tower every single month, so that's an additional 55 gems. On average, every single month, there's going to be 1 new story chapter, so between 35 and 45 gems in the stages, so I just went for 40 in the middle there. Also, final boss top 50%, assuming there is 1 final boss. Again, sometimes there's been like, 2 or maybe 3 final bosses in a month, and hopefully they are going to scale it up to have a final boss every 2 weeks in the game. So yeah, hopefully this is actually going to be doubled moving forward. And then we got bonus events and free stuff. I've kind of put this figure at 90 gems. Again, in the period of the last 30 days, this has actually been a lot higher than 90 gems, because we've had the disaster event, we've had the Valentine's stuff, we've also got like the free 10 gems in the login calendar as well, and also like a few additional bits and bobs on top of that. So it's actually been higher than 90 in the last 30 days. Also, Brawl, again, going on an average like 45 days it probably takes you to clear the shop. On average, about 10 gems per month. And also 5-starring SSR gear. If you get your gold farming kind of under wraps and under control, you should be looking at taking up about 35 to 50 pieces every single month. Again, on my massive whale account, man, this is like 200, 250 pieces. But yeah, even if you are free to play, if you're using the majority of your stamina potions, about like, 80% of them on Fort Solgris gold farming, which you totally should be. Again, you're going to have so much gold for the equipment draw event. You rinse that through, you're going to gain hundreds of 5-star awakening stones, and taking up loads of different gear for your box, for your main characters as well. It's just going to make those gems roll in even faster. So yeah, this is the average total of about 710 to 725, and this is not including affection, achievements, the Fort Solgris spinner, first time stage clears, the Hawk Pass, knighthood wars, or reverse stages. So again, there's a lot of additional variants and stuff that could be factored into your gem gain as well, especially if you are a new player that hasn't done like loads of additional stuff in this game. Again, there's so much gem gain when you download this game and start playing for like first stage clears and story. But yeah, hopefully this guide helps you find and farm all of the gems in 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross. And again, if I did miss out anything, please do let me know in the comments section below. A guide of this scale, man, I think it's likely I've missed out like 1 or 2 tips and tricks. So yeah, if you got anything else, let me know in the comments section. But aside from that, hopefully this video was useful to a few of you out there, and if you did enjoy it, please do smash that like button. That'd be greatly appreciated. But aside from that, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day.